Let's break it down. The Trump administration is not just tightening immigration at the border anymore. It is redrawing the map of who can even board a plane to the United States. According to new comments from Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, the US is preparing to expand its travel ban list to more than 30 countries. I'm Imran, a Middle East-based analyst who follows US politics and global affairs. Let's look at what that actually means. First, what exactly is being expanded? Back in June, Trump signed a proclamation banning citizens of 12 countries from entering the US and restricting citizens of 7 more. That covered both immigrants and non-immigrants, tourists, students, and business travelers. The official justification was protecting the US from foreign threats. Now, Kristi Noem says the administration plans to increase the number of countries on that list to over 30. When she was pressed in an interview to confirm a figure of 32, she did not give an exact number, but she said it's over 30 and the president is continuing to evaluate countries. She did not say which new countries are being added, but the criteria she gave were simple. If a country is not stable, if it cannot sustain itself, or if it cannot help the US properly identify and vet its citizens, then people from that country should not be allowed in. So, this is not just about individuals. It is about labeling entire states as too weak or too chaotic to trust. Second, why is this happening now? The timing is not random. Recently, 2 National Guard members were shot and killed in Washington, D.C. Investigators say the suspect is an Afghan national who entered the US in 2021 through a resettlement program. Trump officials now argue that the vetting under that program was not strong enough. Days after the shooting, Trump said he wanted to permanently pause migration from what he called third world countries, without clearly defining what that means or which countries he was talking about. At the same time, the Department of Homeland Security has already been reviewing asylum cases and green cards for citizens of 19 countries, something we talked about in an earlier video. If you put this together, you see a sequence. First, review and potentially freeze immigration benefits for people from 19 countries who are already inside the US. Now, expand the entry ban at the front door to cover more than 30 countries. From the outside, it looks like building a ring fence around the US based heavily on nationality and perceived stability. Third, who gets hit by this kind of travel ban? When people hear travel ban, they often think of a handful of extremists being blocked. But in reality, these policies hit students who got scholarships at US universities, doctors and engineers with job offers, families trying to visit relatives, and tourists and pilgrims who just want to travel. When your country lands on a list like this, suddenly your entire population becomes high risk in the eyes of US authorities, even if you personally have a clean record, strong finances, and a legitimate reason to travel. And the reasons given are broad. Your government is unstable, your state can't properly identify you, or your country is considered a security problem. From here in the Middle East, it is hard not to see a pattern. Many of the countries most likely to be affected are in the global south, Africa, the Muslim world, and parts of Latin America. Fourth, what does this mean for America's image? From where I'm sitting, this sends 3 strong signals to the world. First, the US is moving from targeting individuals to labeling entire nations as too dangerous or too chaotic to trust. Your passport becomes your first security rating. Second, incidents inside the US, like the DC shooting, are being used to justify broad, long-lasting restrictions on millions of people who had nothing to do with those events. Third, it reinforces the idea that legal, orderly migration through visas, work permits, and study routes is being shut down at the same time as irregular migration at the border is being attacked. Doors are closing from both sides. For many young people around the world, the US used to be the place of opportunity. You study hard, you follow the rules, and maybe you win a chance to work or learn there. Now, if your country ends up on a list of more than 30 banned states, it doesn't matter how hard you worked. The door is closed before you even knock, so let's break it down one last time. The US is expanding its travel ban to more than 30 countries. Officials say it is about security and vetting. Critics say it is about building a world where your passport decides your future more than your character or your record. If you are from one of the affected regions, or you live in the US and your family is abroad, I really want to hear from you. Does this make America safer, or does it just make America smaller? This is Imran Breaks It Down, and we'll keep breaking it down together.